Greetings. What we're going to do now is problem 6.3, which you'll find on page 105 of your textbook. You were given the following information about 3 different hotel investments. Hotel A has a 12% return with a 7% risk or standard deviation. Hotel B has 20% return with a 19% risk or standard deviation. And C, of course, has 14% return with a 10% standard deviation. 3 separate hotel investments. If you could choose only one, which would you choose? Well, it's an interesting question because the alternatives are really based on 3 different values of returns and risk. And really, when you look at this, the idea is that perhaps the real question should be, how does the risk for each asset relate to its return? So if I had an idea of the units of risk for every unit of return, we could have a better picture of a comparison between the 3 different investments. We therefore calculate each asset's coefficient of variation, whereas the coefficient of variation is equal to the standard deviation divided by the return for each of the investments we're considering. Looking at the following, bring it back to there. The coefficient, which we said was going to be the standard deviation divided by the return, so let's put that in, is equal to the standard deviation divided by the return, and we get 58.3% on this. Let's copy that down and recognize the rest of them. So A has a 58% standard deviation, B has a 95% standard deviation or coefficient of variation, and C has a 71% coefficient of variation. So what are we really looking at here? How do we answer the question? Which one would you select? Okay. I would select Unit A, Hotel A. When you look at that, it has a less risk for every unit of return. So if I was only getting 1% of return from each one of those projects, I would recognize that the least risk one would be hotel investment A. Okay, so the answer, of course, is A. Thank you.